Well, Miriam, it is a grim...
There was a spectacular fire that started shortly after 11 this morning in an empty building near the 200 block of North Main Street. The building used to house a furniture company, but was being renovated for an office building. No one was seriously hurt, but several fire departments from as far away as Durham and Virginia were called in for assistance. Smoke from the fire could be seen several miles outside the city limits. Bystanders could only watch as part of their downtown went up in smoke. One employee of the Chamber of Commerce, located across the street from the fire, was ready to call for help.
A lady came in my office screaming fire, so I was in one of the inner offices. I immediately came out and saw that the smoke was coming out of around the eaves of the building and all. So I was in the process of going and calling the fire department when I saw a policeman pull up, and he used his CB radio and called the fire department.
The owner of a nearby shoe shop wasted no time in getting out with as much as he could.
I just immediately started getting some merchandise out of my store and did for approximately 30, 45 minutes. We got out about maybe 20% of the merchandise that was in there. Right down the street.
That's when the fire department ordered an evacuation. The only other occupied building located on the same side of the street as the fire, a dance school, had not opened when the blaze started. All the heavy smoke hampered firefighters.
I guess the smoke would be one of the biggest problems. It's kind of hard to see the fire. These large buildings, once it gets filled with smoke, it's kind of hard to get to where the fire's at. But once we reach the fire, everything seems to come under control.
Townspeople joined in to help firefighters by supplying them with drinks and hot dogs, and firefighters say they really appreciate that type of community support. Terry, Val.
Busy day.
A battle between 11 fire departments and a raging fire. With attacks from the ground and in the air, firefighters kept the flames from spreading, containing the blaze inside the vacant furniture store that closed its doors just last year. What firefighters still don't know is why an empty building caught fire in the middle of the day. Some local business owners say this has been an accident waiting to happen.
Have you ever worried about these buildings before?
Yeah, all the time. People have boarded the windows up on them a lot just to keep the windows and things are rotting out on the inside of the buildings. So it's a constant fire hazard.
This building was such a fire hazard, the fire chief already had a plan in place should a situation like today's develop. Now he is worried about the rest of the buildings.
This entire block is, the buildings are old, and once they get started, they'll just burn like lighter. They are full of heavy timber and combustible materials, and there's not an elaborate fire code back in them days, and this is what we're dealing with.
Yeah. Chief Hall says he doesn't suspect arson, but an investigation is underway. Drew Griffin, WRAL-TV News, Roxboro.
Stubborn fire. The old Person furniture store on North Main Street was gutted. Half a dozen fire departments from as far away as Durham to as far north as South Boston, Virginia, responded to the blaze. Nobody was injured, but it took more than 3 hours to get it under control, mostly because of the building's age and an elevator shaft that pumped air to the flames.
The elevator shaft right here goes all the way to the 3rd floor. And, yeah, it was drawing, just like a chimney, it would draw that fire all the way up.
Officials say they kept the fire from spreading thanks to the city's pre-fire plan, a rehearsal designed just for such a fire on Roxboro's Main Street. Tonight, an update to the Eddie Hatcher-Tim Jacobs story. A federal appeals court today ruled